Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah wa salatu wassalamu ala Rasulullah. We continue reading from Imam Al-Ghazali's Jawahir al-Quran, the Jews of the Quran, its pairs. We have reached Surah Al-Hajj, and Imam Al-Ghazali chose 15 verses as Jews, as pairs really in this section. His section begins with verse 11, but I would like to read the first 10 verses, inshallah, and pave the way and see the themes that we have there. I think we have something very interesting. أعوذ بالله السميع من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم إن زلزلة الساعة شيء عظيم. O humanity, fear your Lord, for the quaking, the severe, violent quaking at the hour, meaning the day of the hour, the day of judgment, the hour is surely a dreadful thing. On that day, once this quaking takes place, it is so severe, so frightening that when people witness it, the second verse here describes some of the things that people will go through. يوم ترونها تذهل كل مرضعة عما أرضعت وتضع كل ذات حمل حملها وترى الناس سكارى وما هم بسكارى ولكن عذاب الله شديد. The day you see it, every nursing mother will abandon what she is nursing, meaning that her own baby. And that's usually it must be the most shocking experience, so that mothers will abandon babies. Usually they will put their life at risk to save their babies. They will, if there is any danger, they will hug their babies, just press them against their breasts. One of the most fulfilling natural things that happen between a mother and a child, breastfeeding. But then on this day, she will abandon her nursing baby. She will not pay attention. She will not be conscientious of the baby anymore. And not only in nursing moms, this shows that if nursing moms abandon their babies, not pay attention to them, it means everyone on earth will be shocked. No one can pay attention anymore to all that they have built, all their livelihood, their professions, the offices, the clinics, the universities, the factories, everything is gone now. You know that this is it. The issue is that then it's directly witnessing what's going on. Subhanallah, even when we have earthquakes, not the earthquakes or the quaking of the hour, the day of judgment, even nowadays when an earthquake takes place, people are shocked. They go to the streets if they can still manage to do so. Go to they say go to usually stairwells are, at least in our part of the world, are built with reinforced uh, concrete. There is now a Greek island where so many earthquakes took place, one after the other. It seems that most of the population there abandoned the Greek island, and practically tourists who used to flock to this Greek island, they stopped going there. Then there is a strong earthquake. A couple of them took place in Istanbul, and then out of a sudden, people remember that in our part, like we have the Jordan Valley Rift, we are south of the major earthquake line that goes to the north through Turkey to Iran and to the east, southeast. People remember that every 100 years we have in Palestine a severe earthquake. But after these earthquakes, still people live. If they don't survive, others come and live where they used to live, but not on the day of judgment. In the sense of it's not possible to maintain life on earth. This worldly life ends. So nursing mothers are shocked, but also وَتَضَعُ كُلُّ ذَاتِ حَمْلٍ حَمْلَهَا, and every pregnant woman will deliver her burden, her pregnancy. One might say prematurely, but every pregnant woman will cannot really, because of this, it seems, of the severe shock, the fear. That's it. She cannot maintain the pregnancy. وترى الناس سكارى وما هم بسكارى ولكن عذاب الله شديد, and you'll see people as if they are drunk, intoxicated, but they are not drunk. It's not wine, it's not alcohol. The scene is so disturbing that they appear at a loss, wandering, and precisely they are now in a state of tremendous fear. ولكن عذاب الله شديد. That's what they fear. But the torment of Allah is severe, terribly severe, that is. ومن الناس ما يجادل في الله بغير علم ويتبع كل شيطان مريد. Still there are some who dispute about Allah, meaning in this life. People know that this life ends. It's going to end. No one is going to last. The Prophet ﷺ described this life as someone who sat in the shade of a tree, like a traveler in the heat of the day, saw a tree and thought of resting under that tree. This life is nothing but that rest, nothing before, nothing after. And everything that you do in this life is during this period. And that rest, that the metaphor here, it alludes to it's a very short, because if you take a rest, usually it's very short. Everything that you do is takes place in the shade of that tree. Remember, this is a metaphor. You are born under that tree, you die under that tree, you get married under that tree. If you are destined to get married, you'll have children, you'll go to school, you'll graduate, you'll have a house, hopefully a home, have a family, things to cherish, memories, and then either what you have accumulated or gathered, either the material wealth will leave you or you will leave the material wealth behind. Either the beloved ones will leave you or you will leave them. All simply during that short span, as if you have taken a rest under that tree. So despite the short span of this life, relative to the hereafter, relative to eternity, relative to infinity, if you live 100 years or 1,000 years, you divide it by infinity, that's zero. It's nothing. Don't lose eternal life in paradise because of a passing haram pleasure or haram gain, and still there are people who dispute about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala without knowledge and follow every rebellious devil. It's very strange, extremely strange. There are those who are ignorant without knowledge, of course, but the problem is the way they have been raised. They have no, malicious intentions, but nevertheless they end up without proper knowledge. Unlike those who are rebellious, they simply align themselves with Satan, with the devil, with the non-believers, with the evildoers. The problem today, because many youngsters now, of course, there are those who are agnostic, there are those who are non-believers, but there are those who are simply ignorant. Their parents make sure that they study at good schools, and by good schools they mean private schools where they highlight English, for example. They end up with no Arabic, not proper enough, not adequate enough to read. The Qur'an is not part of the picture. The Hadith of the Prophet ﷺ is not part of the picture. And down the road, you'll have someone who, boys and girls, they will graduate from school, from universities, with degrees, and religion is not part of the picture. And they get married because of appearances, because they are cool, because they are whatever. And the result will be shocking, especially if one of them has still religious with knowledge, and for whatever cultural reason or circumstances they still get married, they go ahead, and they're not compatible. Literally, there are marriages or people who get engaged, and they are separating because of this. They are not compatible. One of them cherishes religion, and the other is literally without, and they think that they can continue like this. And this is the hadith of Prophet ﷺ It goes both ways, though. It addresses the men when a woman is when someone marries a woman, or a man marries a woman for. There are four things: her wealth, her beauty, her family, and her religion. And the hadith says, do get the one who is religious. By religious here, it means she has the adab. Remember this, it goes both ways. She has the adab, she has the theology, she has the jurisprudence, she has the path. Uh, it doesn't mean that you don't marry someone who you like. Another different hadith, the Prophet ﷺ said, look at her so that you may see something beautiful in your eyes. And the same thing applies to her. I mean, he could be wealthy, he could be handsome, he could be from a good family, but he should be also religious in the same sense that we have just described. Otherwise, it's going to end up with disputes, different levels. So here we have people who follow every rebellious devil. كتب عليه أن من تولاه فأنه يضله ويهديه إلى عذاب السعير. It has been decreed for such devils that whoever takes them as a guide will be misguided and led by them into the torment of the blaze. Let's remember there's a section in the book of repentance where Imam Al-Ghazali rahimahullah reminds us how when people are sick in terms of physiological, talk about the body, they hasten to the physician and they look for someone to heal them. But when they are sick in terms of, here we don't talk about the physical, we talk about the spiritual. When the heart spiritually is sick, they don't usually hasten to find the physician. Here we talk about the healer. Here we talk about scholars who are godly, if you will, who could provide guidance. And now we have verse 5, where inshallah, I will read and comment. I think we have something very interesting. يا أيها الناس إن كنتم في ريب من البعث فإنا خلقناكم من تراب ثم من نطفة ثم من علقة ثم من مضغة مخلقة وغير مخلقة لنبين لكم ونقر في الأرحام ما نشاء إلى أجل مسمى ثم نخرجكم طفلا ثم لتبلغوا أشدكم ومنكم من يتوفى ومنكم يرد إلى أرذل العمر لكي لا يعلم من بعد علم شيئا وترى الأرض هامدة فإذا أنزلنا عليها الماء اهتزت وربت وأنبت من كل زوج بهيج. O humanity, يا أيها الناس, if you are in doubt about the resurrection, إن كنتم في ريب من البعث, then know that we did create you from dust, from earth, from clay. So that's one stage. This is to talk about the creation of Sayyidina Adam alayhi salam. Talk about dust, does not have a will of its own. It will never, absolutely, it will never evolve into a human being with a brain that has 86 billion neurons. Mind you, all these wonderful organs whether we talk about the eyes and sight, we talk about ears and hearing, we talk about your smelling, tasting, feeling. Your skin is a very large organ. Your nervous system, your intestines, your no matter what part we choose, it's an amazing, subhanallah, it's an amazing thing. So dust does not have a will. Dust would have remained dust without the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that's one stage. What we have now between male and male and female not in the not a claim to be male and not a claim to be female. Those who they call themselves transgender, they could be some of them used to be married and they had children, and then they decided that they are trapped in the wrong body. So now for humanity, it's a sperm and an ovum, ثم من نطفة. That's basically from a sperm drop. And it's a zygote, really. It's the union. This nutfa is the when a sperm um, fertilizes one ovum, one egg in the fallopian canal. So we have this zygote after fertilization. That's the nutfa. ثم من علقة. And that's when the zygote implants itself in the uterus. That will be day 6, typically, after fertilization. ثم من مضغة مخلقة وغير مخلقة لنبين لكم. Then a lump of flesh, usually they say, مضغة. Fully formed or unformed, that's a translation of مخلقة وغير مخلقة. Sometimes we have a translation there, fully formed. If not fully formed, they say it's defected. Evolving, if it's fully formed, evolving into a healthy embryo, or ending in miscarriage if it's defected. Sometimes, people are born with, so not every defect ends in miscarriage. This is where I would like to introduce an idea. I'm not sure if anybody else has spoken about this part of this verse in the fashion that I'm going to mention. I'm not saying this is an absolute understanding, but inshallah, I'm presenting this for scholars, for specialists, for gynecologists, Muslims, and maybe non-Muslims also. مخلقة وغير مخلقة. غير مخلقة, that's the undifferentiated, quote unquote, the blank cells, the embryonic stem cells, and this lasts from the 4th to the 7th day. So we have at least one more day. This is why it in the order here it comes after the clinging clot. So غير مخلقة, embryonic stem cells, Allahu A'lam, from the 4th to the 7th day. After that, it's going to be مخلقة. And here it begins to form the 3 embryonic layers, tissue layers. Again, this is, as I said, it's an understanding. I'm presenting this, inshallah, for the scholars community. I hope, inshallah, that there's something that could shed light about مخلقة وغير مخلقة. والله سبحانه وتعالى أعلى وأعلم. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive me. This is the intention here is to, inshallah, advance the thinking. ونقر في الأرحام ما نشاء إلى أجل مسمى ثم نخرجكم طفلا. Then we settle whatever embryo we will, the divine will, in the womb, the uterus, for an appointed term. Then bring you forth as infants, so that you may reach your prime. لتبلغوا أشدكم. Some of you, ومنكم من يتوفى, some of you will die, meaning will die young, because compared to the rest of the verse, ومنكم من يرد إلى أرض العمر, while others are left to reach the most feeble stage of life, so that they may know nothing after having known much. لكي لا يعلم من بعد علم شيئا. People are nowadays conscientious about dementia. And there is no way you can maintain the same vitality at a very old age. There is no way you can keep the same intellectual capacity physically. Things deteriorate. This is لتبلغوا أشدكم, your prime. Something that one can bring to the picture, though not directly relevant here, is the Ibn Khaldun's comparison of the state, that a state is born weak as a child, then it becomes young and strong, then the state, countries talk about nation states, if you will, but even empires face the same thing. They become strong and they become old, and in a sense they die. I mean, of course, we talk about death of the state is not like death of the human being, but they do take the backstage. They might not understand the laws of history, the rise and fall of civilizations. It happened to Spain, it happened to Portugal, it happened to Holland, it happened to France, the Great Britain. And if this line is an analogy is true, and even the American empire will face the same fate. If it's the Chinese, who will rise to power, that not should be a source of comfort if people are fed up with the injustice that is inflicted during this time upon the world. For us, we should think about our own civilization being resurrected, inshallah, which by definition requires unity of Muslims. And here I'm talking about for the good of humanity, the yearn for a moral political entity that carries a different message, inshallah. And you see the land, the earth, lifeless. But as soon as we send down rain upon it, it begins to stir, meaning to life too. And swell, basically, you talk about producing every type of pleasant plant. There's a notion of min kulli zawjin bahij. It seems we talk about lost probably in the translation here that male and female plants. Subhanallah, it's a beautiful notion if one can think about it. Remember the hadith Ta'bir al-Nakhl, that the Medinian, that the people of Medina and Aus and Hazraj, they used to fertilize their palm trees because palm trees are both male and female, just as an example of zawj in terms of plants. I think, inshallah, this is enough for this particular session, and we'll continue with verse 6 بإذن in the next session. Until then, subhanakallah wa hamdik, shadu la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.